Hello everybody, welcome to the European Racing League here for the F1 tier at the Chinese Grand Prix round 3 of Season 7. And boy have we got an interesting race in store for you today. First of all, qualifying, as you can see, it is raining. It's not meant to be raining for the whole session, no. It should, I believe, dry up at the end, so it's going to be a bit of a one-shot qualifying. But on what tyre? Because, according to Janel anyway, we're going to also have a wet end to the race. So it's going to start off dry and get wet towards the end. So could we see, for as far as I'm aware, the first time ever, from what I've seen in my life anyway, could we genuinely see a qualifying end up with everyone doing one-shot quali on the mediums or the hards? I mean, that would be something else, wouldn't it? But it looks like it's going to happen. Possibly today. So these early laps on the inters aren't necessarily going to be too important, but it will still be interesting to see how it all works, especially with the weather. We don't know how far into the race is going to rain, and you know what? I'm not going to even ask Janel how late into the race it's going to rain. I'm just going to let it happen, and we will see. All I know is that it should be dry at the end of qualifying. Is it raining? Still, it is raining. So yeah. Might be a while before we get anything interesting going on in this qualifying session, but it does give us a chance to send loads of links out, etc, etc. You may have noticed we don't have my co-commentator here today, unfortunately. He's not able to make it, so I'm going solo. Oh no, I hate going solo. Well, I don't hate going solo, but it's nice to have a co-commentator. I think he'd like to see this one. Hopefully he watches it later on, because it will be an interesting one. Anyway, here's Joe Glar. We've also got, that is Marquez, is it? No, it's Janel ahead. Because there's Marquez there. So Joe Glar, final corner, crossing the line, first lap of the day at 1 minute 46 well, look at this, beating us 1 minute 46.9, but now it's a 1 minute 44 dead at our top time. Now, these guys, last thing they need to do, they all know about it as well, the last thing they need is to have an accident in qualifying, because that would be really awkward, especially in the early stage, because at the end, it's gonna dry up. I'll keep an eye on when the rain stops, and when it does, expect a bit of a mad dash, and it could be. I remember on F1 2017 in ILR, my first pole I ever got in that league, because it was wet the whole qualifying session. It was a Mexico quali, and it only just about became good enough for dries after we hit 0. So I started my lap, say, with like 5 or 6 seconds to go. I think I cut it really late just to make sure. And then down the main straight, just after the checkered flag came out, it then enabled DRS and everything, so it just about became dry enough. Could we see a similar situation like that, where it's literally last across the line? Could well do so. By the way, can I just say, Janel's helmet, very nice. Commentating on him in GT Sport, he's also got those similar colours, so he must like those colours. It's a great colour to have. Anyway, as he comes to finish his lap in the Red Bull. So these laps don't necessarily matter too much, but oh well, gives them a good gauge, I guess, of where they would be in the wets at the end, even though it'll be a completely different scenario. Medium pilot's fastest, Janel though goes 7th, so there's only 2 more people left to set a lap time. Here's one of them, and Wayne is a bit further behind. So here comes Tom cutting the final corner. You can do that to a certain extent, but we'll see how the lap time counts. It does count, but he's last. Wayne then, last person to do a lap on these first runs on the intermediates. See how he gets on in his Alfa Romeo. See, a few people are going round for more than one run, because like I say, it's sort of no point pitting, or even going, there's no point being out really after your first attempt, but let these guys do it the way they want to, because as I say, it's better to dry it at the end. Man, it is just a bit of a waiting game to see what's going to happen. Unfortunately, we appear to have 0 viewers, so we need to try and get that up a bit. Anyway, here comes Wayne, round to the final corner. Yellow flags. I hope no one's binned it because that'd be really stupid if it's going to dry up. But here he comes, Wayne to the line. Not going to go fastest, but is in the top 5. Going in between Rafa and Marquez. Those three all relatively close to each other. In fact, all the way, sort of from P4 to P7. That's not a really close gap. And P8 as well, you could put into that bracket as well. But as you can see, the rain has stopped a little bit earlier actually than I thought it might. But yeah. What are we going to see then? What are we going to see? I don't think anyone's going out and dries yet. It's just that I hope, for one, everyone's looked at their weather forecasts before going into this. And yeah, we'll see how it affects people's strategies. Because Janel told me it'd be wet at the end of this race. And so, it wouldn't be out of the question for somebody to try and make a hard to enter strategy work. Which would make it a weird end to qualifying when you get everyone qualifying on hards, but it depends how late into the race the rain comes. Ah dear, you got Tom there saying Louis home at 4:45 and at 5 o'clock he's in a league race. Definition of sweat, but he isn't even on top, so oh dear, embarrassing. But anyway, it'll be interesting to see if they qualify in mediums or hards. If you're outside the top 10 on the start anyway, I would be expecting you to start in the hards, because you might as well, but we'll see what they all decide. I'm expecting everyone to qualify in hards, but we'll find out. Here comes Louis. A rather pointless lap this, but he's going to go on it anyway. As you can see, DRS is enabled, and he puts it straight on. He'll probably be heading to the pit lane, I reckon, at the end of this one. Marquez is going to try some softs. We're going to see Lakiti on mediums, and Speedster and Joglar so far thinking about hards. We could see a 2-stop, and then including the wet stuff, so you can do maybe soft to medium to inter at the end. Maybe we could see that happen, or it could just be hard to inter, or it could be medium to soft to inter, or medium to inter. There's loads of different ways of going about it. We'll see what everyone decides to do. Marquez off those softs now, having a look at the weather forecast and deciding that he's not going to risk it. Lakito decides he's going to go on wets, because why not? 7.5 minutes to go here, so we may have to wait a while before we actually get these laps done. Louis is out there. I mean, Lewis is like, there's no real point though, is there? He's up by a little bit, but he probably will pit. And we've got Marquez and Speedster out there on hards and struggling a bit, as well as Joglar. And well, it's a bit early for them to be out. Maybe they're doing it 2 kilometers. Maybe they will go and do mediums or softs at the very end. Like I say, 7 minutes to go. But if you're in the chat, let me know what you think. Remember, it's going to be a wet end to the race. That's all I've been told. We don't know when the rain's going to come in, but it's going to come in at the end of the race. So, do you qualify on hards, or do you qualify on softs or mediums and make it a 2-stop? Or go a slow 1-stop? Because the hards are going to be really slow compared to the softs or mediums at the start. Someone could obviously go out and go for a glory pole as well. Could be their chance of doing that. Louis still going round on inters instead of pitting. But I'm going to follow Marquez around. I think he's going to be the first. Or is that Speedster? No, sorry, Speedster's the first to do his lap. So we'll watch him in the Alfa Romeo. He's got a Ferrari ahead of him of Rafa, who's going to have to get around. These guys will probably do more than 1 lap on these tyres. You tend to see that with a hard compound anyway. They can get a couple of laps out of them. They're probably fueled for it as well, I suspect. But anyway, through the first sector, expect this to be up by a couple of a couple of tenths. Actually, nearly a second for a first attempt. It's not too bad. Pole is as Speedster really gets the back end out there. Pole, well, what's pole going to be? I would have thought maybe at the very end we'd be cutting 10 seconds off the Inter's time, at least. Maybe I'm too optimistic about that. I don't know, but certainly looks to be a bit of a struggle out there. The rear tires, they just don't have any grip. So while the hard tire is definitely probably going to be the better race tire, in these conditions it's not a great tire to be on, but it's pretty much essential. So brave it out basically and don't hit the wall, and you might just get pole. This will be a fun slipstream here for Speedster. Gonna get a fantastic run off Rafa, who realises very quickly and throws the anchor down, making sure he doesn't give him too much speed, but he did it a bit late. So into the final section now. One more corner to go. If you go wide here, you're pretty much in a one-way course to death if you're not careful. But here is Speedster to the line. It's going to be a 1:40.9. So that's our first hard compound time. Expect those times to go way down now. I'm sure for the rest of the session we'll see it crash consistently. A few people still yet to go out. Lakitu still can't make his mind up. I saw him switching from mediums to softs, but never to hards, I don't think. So he seems to be happy with going for a softer compound. As is Lewis. And Marquez goes fastest by nearly 2 seconds. So we're getting these times down quicker and quicker. Pretty much every... Oh dear, Rafa spins off. I was going to say pretty much everyone who crosses the line will be going faster, but that's if they keep it on the track, which Rafa hasn't. And, well, this is where luckily being able to get more than one lap out of these tyres might just save him. If he just gets a lap done in this top 10 on those tyres, because you only get one try on these tyres. There's only one tyre. Only one set for him. What does he do then? He sort of has to do a lap. It'll be a bit worn, but he has to keep with it. Weigh-in is going round 2.4 seconds up on his best attempt so far. Probably going to gain quite a bit in this last section. Nope, here he comes to the line. Not going to be pulled by a long shot, but could be in the 40s. Yes. Second off pull though. See, Rafa's been off the track, so no point watching him. Jano was all around this. He may have got held up a tad. So let's watch Tom instead as he heads to the end of his lap in the racing point. Now I've got 3 people in the pits considering medium compound tyres. Will people who are pitting now also do this? Looks like Tom is going to pit and maybe choose his tyres as well. So we may well see a lot of people on their mediums yet. But yeah, this will be a very interesting end to qualifying. I don't really know what we're expecting to see at the minute. Everyone is going to be peeling off into the pit lane, apart from potentially Wayne, because, well, he's on another flying lap. He wants pole, and, well, he can't pit now. It's too late, so he's going to finish this lap. And, well, I said we should be cutting 10 seconds off the inter time. They should be doing that, and then maybe at the very end we'll be into the 32s or 31s, maybe. Even lower, it just depends how much the track sort of dries. But certainly we should be cutting a lot of time off now at the end. Looks like a lot of people are now switching to mediums and softs. The key to finally deciding he's going to go softs, but Marquez saying he's happy enough with his hard compound time. Wayne have a bit of a slide, but it should still take pole, at least provisionally. Here he comes to the line. He should be in the 35s. Not quite, just about misses, but 36 dead. 2.8 seconds clear. Speedster is out on mediums. Medium Pilot and Louis are out on the they're out on the hards. Jogar out on mediums, Rafa mediums, Calcus mediums, Sanster mediums, Jano mediums, Lakitu softs, and Tom on mediums. So we're gonna have all 3 tire compounds giving it a go here. And well, Marquez, I don't know why he retired actually, thinking about it. I guess he doesn't feel he could do more on a set of hards, but he could have just come out on that set again, he would have gone quicker. But well, as long as he gets top 10, we may not even get top 10 actually, thinking about it. He may end up last. Maybe Marquez shouldn't have done that. But let's try and find who's going to be first to start a lap. Could be Calkers. Will be Calkers. If he's not his teammate, yeah, it's Calkers. So Calkers, not quite last across the line. And look like a lot of people were a bit further back. Janel is not going to get a lap in. Who else will get a lap in? Janel pretty much can stick it in the wall now. He's screwed. I think everyone else will struggle actually. Joglar is realising this and he's going to have to cut. Rafa is done, I think. So a lot of people have misjudged this. Tom is done as well. Did Joglar make it? No, he didn't quite. So we've got 4 people there who didn't make it to the line. Speedster, Medium Pilot, Lewis, Calkers, Samster and Lakitu, however, all made it. So that's what's Lakitu. This should be the pole position time by quite a way. But Wayne pitting, it's a 36 dead that they all have to beat, and I think Lakitu's not quite going to be last across the line. Oh, actually, no, sorry, it might be actually. But let's watch Calkers actually. Watch Calkers first as he heads round on those mediums. This should be pole, and then after that, everyone behind should also be setting pole. Should be the way it works. We'll see how these medium runners compare against the hards, and of course the softs on Lakitu. But it is all about the race. Will these medium runners then end up regretting their choice? Well, actually, will Janel's error sort of be a... Will everyone's error in this top 10 by not doing the lap on mediums actually turn out to be a blessing in disguise? Will they prefer to start on the hards? Will they all just say, let's start on the hards then? We might as well. We'll see, but Calker's predictably ahead of his teammate and a Lewis in between the 2 Mercedes. Speedster, here he comes. He should be up there too, as Lakitu of course takes pole position, but let's see where Speedster will be. He should get himself in amongst all this. He goes P2. So, will those intermediate runners, because obviously some of them will have ended up qualifying on intermediates. Let's see, Rafa and Samster in the top 10 having qualified on inters. They probably might as well start on hards. So, in the end, thanks to people's errors, these 4, they didn't get to qualify on a dry tyre, so they all qualified on inters. They'll probably all end up on hards, I would imagine, on the start. But it is Lakitu on pole on the softs, from Speedster and Calkers on mediums, then Lewis, Medium Pilot, Wayne, Marquez, Joglar, the hards. So, yeah, that's going to be very interesting to see. It's going to rain at the end of this race. This is going to be fun. It's going to be very fun. And then behind the hard runners, you've got Rafa, Samster, Janel, and Tom. So, while it looks nice and sunny at the moment, expect the heavens to open at some point, because it is going to rain at the end of this race, and it could just shake this all up. Oh, I didn't even realise Joglar had left. Hope he didn't rage quit after not making his lap, because it could come back. Hopefully everyone's saying that they're that there's going to be rain at the end. We're just waiting for people to put their setups online. The timer starts, so we've got the first car ready up, I believe. But yeah, I expect the 4 guys at the back to go on hards. If they don't, yeah, we could see, I guess, interesting strategy. They all intended to go on mediums, I think, so maybe they'll stick to their guns. Maybe they'll have had a last chance to change, and indeed they did change. Joglar looks like he hasn't been able to take the start here, so he is out of this race before it even gets underway. Unless his car magically appears out of nowhere. He picked the wrong time to leave, unfortunately. But let's quickly go once again on board every driver through these top 11. Now it will be with Joglar missing, unless his car is turned up. No, it has not. So Lakitu is on pole, and he's gonna really have to make this one work, because well, how is this gonna work? Because he's not gonna get these tires very far, and then he's gonna have to maybe try and get mediums all the way till rain, I would assume, when he pits. But anyway, he's on pole on the sauce. Speedster second and Calcus third. They can do medium to inter if they need to, or they can do medium to soft to inter. We'll see how that all works. And everyone behind is going to be on the hards, simply hards to inter, you would have thought. And they are Lewis, medium pilot, Wayne, Marquez, Juglar, who's obviously not here, although it says his car is here, doesn't it? Rafa, Soundster, Jano, and Tom. It does say there's a gap for Juglar's car, but I guess not. But yeah, we're in for a very interesting start here. Luckily, Lakitu did get that qualifying time at the very end. As I said, it was pretty much a guaranteed pull for him. He was never not going to get it. So he has to pull away. And a straight like this back straight here might not make that too easy once the tyres start to go. On lap 3, there is a kind of a chance he's not going to actually be a second clear. The tyres genuinely could already have started to go by then. So this DRS trick could become quite important for this one, as it normally is for this track, being one of the longest stretches on the calendar. But here we all come then. Round to the last corner. Rain is forecast for the end of this race, and the strategies have changed in response to that. So we would have expected a medium to hard race, I would have thought, today. But now it's going to be all sorts of strategies going on, and it could be utter chaos. It is pretty much the perfect recipe for chaos here, and I can't wait to get started. So we're all lined up on the grid now, and we're just waiting for the guys at the back to turn up. Here is Tom lining up. Lakita saying he's just trying to have fun. He's already happy with a pole. Well, we'll still see how your strategy works though, as we get ready for some lights. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and now 5 lights ahead of the drivers for the Chinese Grand Prix. Lights out, away we go. Should be a good start from Lakiti on those tyres. You would expect it, and indeed it has been a good start. Rather poor start, in fact, for Calker, or for Speedster. Calker's getting around the outside. Lewis have a look as well. So the Alfa Romeo driver struggling a bit, but then has the inside line for turn 2, so might well be okay. But then, of course, switches back turn 3 for the inside for Calker, so he does get the position. Lakita, though, clear off the start. And Wayne now ahead, I think. Medium Pirates had a difficult start there. Marquez as well getting past. And possibly even Rafa having a look. We'll see on that. Obviously Juglar, he's not even here, so he's fallen down to last place. His car still hasn't showed up yet. But yeah, look at that. Calker's sort of not letting Lakitu get away too quickly on the start here, and it will just be about the tyres, I think, at this point. A few cars going wide there. You want to make sure you don't run into each other when you're coming back on, because that could become awkward. But this is Calker's first try at a move. Let's see if he can get this done early doors. He could possibly do this on a one-stop this race. We'll wait and see when the rain comes, but he'd rather be at the head of this field, I think, rather than stuck behind Lakitu. He can't get through though. But certainly later on when DRS gets involved, I don't think Lakitu stand much of a chance at the minute. So we're in the final corner to end lap 1. Looks like everyone's had a clean start except for maybe Tom, who falls back quite a bit. Actually, he's miles off, isn't he? Looks like Calker's had a bit of a poor run for the last corner. Looks like he sort of fell a bit behind there. But it is Lakiti from Calker's. Speedster, Lewis, Wayne, Marquez, Medium Pilot, Rafa, Jono, Soundster, and Tom. That is your drivers at the moment. Everyone is alive. Everyone's nice and close to each other. And when DRS gets enabled on the next lap, let the chaos ensue, I reckon. But so far, I wish we could see the tyre usage for these guys, because it's quite important, isn't it? I want to see how much these tyres have worn already on Lakiti's car. The beta isn't the best reference for this type of thing, but these softs did not last long. I've never done another soft stint on this game on those tyres ever after that. They really do fall apart. It's quite extraordinary to watch it, honestly. But we'll see how it works out for Lakiti. Will Calkers get by on this lap? Let's wait and see. Once again, I reiterate, there's no DRS yet until the start of lap 3. He may not need it though. Here comes Calkers for the lead of this race. Does he fancy it up the inside? He's going to back out, I think, and he does indeed. Blend back onto the racing line, and he's going to wait until later. So let's have a look at the position change, see who's our winners and losers of that start. Calker's obviously made a place up on Speedster, and then you have Wayne and Marquez both getting ahead of Medium Pilot. So, yeah, poor start for the Mercedes driver. Rafa up 1, Janel up 2, Samster staying where he was, Tom up 1, but obviously Juglar falling way back because he's not here. So, surprising these guys are all able to keep so close. It is going to be quite promising for when DRS gets involved, and it could be a situation where pass or be pass, and I think it will be that on this lap, because Calkers say try to move, doesn't get it done. Speedster will be right in the back and can see his DRS as well. And Lakitu, I don't think Lakitu quite likes what he's seeing. The field spread between the top 10 is just 4 seconds. I mean, that is extraordinary. I've never seen anything like this yet on this game. Normally by now it would have spread out a bit, but it just hasn't. It's stayed nice and oh, that's Tom off the track, and yeah, giving up, of course, because of course he would. Oh dear. Well, top 10, only 10 now, but here comes Calkers with the DRS. Doesn't even need it. He's gonna blast past anyway. Let's see, Speedster, does he get by 2? Look at the closing speed. He may well fancy it. Oh, that's a late braking move. That could be into Calkers in any moment, and that was really stupid there from Lakitu. He moved way too late in the braking zone, and it has absolutely cost Speedster big time. But it has made a massive gain. Oh, was there contact? I was going to say it made a massive gain for Lewis, but was there a broken front wing there on Speedster, or did he just avoid a contact? Either way, he's fallen down into P6. I mean, Lakitu moves so late, and the brakes and his contact. Marquez doesn't quite go round, nor does Speedster, but Rafa fancies it, and he nearly goes round himself. Everyone bumping into each other. Might as well be bumper carts this. And it is all kicked off on lap 4 of this race, and of course at the end lap 3, where all kicked off when Lakitu lost the lead of the race and saw Speedster coming and moved so late in the braking zone. That could be trouble for him later on. We'll wait and see what stewards end up saying on that one. But look at that, Speedster's down to P8 for now, being harried by Jan. And of course, this is a guy on mediums. This is the last one you need to be crashing down the field, because you need to stay at the top. And it's not working out at all well for Speedster right now. It looks like Rafa had a bit of a slide there. I thought Medium Pilot may have had a chance, but decided not to go for it. So let's see Wayne, other Alfa Romeo, going to try and make the same move as his teammate did. Hopefully this time Lakitu's going to see him coming and not move too late, because there's no point defending him. You just need to let him go. See, it wastes everyone's time when you hold them up when you're clearly struggling on the tyres. So it does look like the soft gamble isn't working, as Marquez now goes past him as well, and down into 5th goes Lakitu, and now 6th as Rafa gets by as well in the braking zone. Here comes Medium Pilot 2 as Calkers pulls away with the fastest lap of the race so far on those mediums, as Speedster pits, so he must have got some front wing damage then on that last corner when he hit Lakitu. So his day goes from looking promising to absolutely disastrous in the space of 2 minutes. But then again, he may have to pit anyway. Maybe he can just take these hards to the end. But he does look like he's stuck as well, so it's not really going to plan. Lakitu and Medium Pilot. Lakitu making contact with the car, trying to pass him on the outside. Still gets through though. His Speedster still stuck there as he's getting out. So he's out of the pit lane and on to hards to go until the rain drops, I guess. Jano now in the back of Lakitu, gonna try and find his own way through. You can probably get quite creative with him now because he's struggling so much. This is where you can think, maybe I should make a nice and dramatic move. But it is Calco's not out of DRS yet on Lewis. Those two starting to pull away from the rest of the pack now, with Wayne third, seeing a gauntlet of cars behind, starting to get ready to go for a move, and one of those cars is Marquez. We know he likes a good late braking move. Doesn't mean it always works, but we know he likes to try it anyway. And he's probably a bit too far back even for his standards to go for it into here, so he's going to leave it as Janel gets past Lakitu. And he's only one car away from falling to the back of the non-pitters yet, so Lakitu goes to the lead to nearly last in very quickly as Lewis sets the fastest out of the race. in his pursuit of Calkers, and look at that, Lakitu struggling a lot in the last corners. I mean, Samster was struggling as well, but clearly not as much. And Lakitu, yeah, the gamble has failed terribly, unfortunately for him. And I think that would scare anyone else racing on this game of going on those salts ever again on this track. So Lewis is getting the gap down now a little bit more to Calkers. It was around 8 tenths at this point in the last lap, and that has gone down a little bit. That'll always help towards DRS. Way more ERS as well here for Lewis, so he's got a bit of breathing space here. He's got a real chance of going for the move if he fancies it. He just has to pick his spot and go for it. So we'll wait and see what he does there. But here's Marquez still as well, fancying a DRS move on way in ahead, so we could see it all start to go once again down this back straight where we've seen all the chaos sort of come from, I guess. But here he goes, Lewis on the back straight, on board with him. The gap's going out, he must have had a poorish exit. What about Marquez? These are on equal tires, these two, so it's more likely for them to be closer on the straight. Of course, you've got to remember Lewis is on mediums compared to, he's on hard compared to the mediums of Calkers, so it's going to be more difficult for him to pass by default. There are no moves as of yet. It's one of the weird things about that long straight. You always think it's better than it is. I was saying it, maybe we were overtaking than this, but oh well. Lakitu pitting. Strategy didn't really work at all. He got pole, but couldn't hold on to it. And Marquez looking quite close as well as Louis, quite close to Calkers. I keep saying Louis or Lewis. I can't decide which one it is. I'm just gonna call him Lewis. I keep call him Lewis. Fuck's sake. Call him Lewis. Just keep remembering to call it Lewis. Anyway, it's bad that I can't remember his name. Anyway, 3 tenths of the gap now between those two, and Speedster, look at that, Speedster's actually jumped Lakitu, so after all that debacle, still managed to get him in the end. And so we're left with only one of the alternate strategy runners at the front of the field now. And by the way, Lakitu went into mediums again. Will he get that terrain? He probably should, I think, at this point. So I guess he's doing everything correct to his own strategy, but it's just not a quick enough strategy, I don't think. And probably, unfortunately, the same will happen to Calkers. He may just not have enough. And here comes Lewis into the lead of the race. Are those mediums starting to go already on the Mercedes of Calkers? We'll have to wait and see what he does there. I'm just noticing, actually, by the way, they've got the new liveries, of course, in the cars. They've sort of fixed it up a little bit. I must say, Toro's looking a lot nicer, isn't it? On the rear, anyway. A green can on the side of it now. Never realised that, but, yeah, nice touch. Look at it. Okay, you can't look at it. I'm trying to let people see. Ugh. There it is, nice and green. Samster pitting. We saw he was a bit all over the track. Had he broken the front wing or something? He has. He also got a 5-second stock go penalty, so yeah, that could be another one down and out of this one, unless we get a safety car, really. The other guys can't really get back in it without it. Calkers is staying quite close here to Lewis, so he may be ahead for now, the Toro Rosso, but he may not stay there. But we'll have to wait and see how these guys handle it, and when Calkers pits, because maybe he fancies pitting for softs. I mean, we know they didn't last very long, Lakitu, but maybe on a lighter-ish fuel though, with rain imminent, it could be better. Oh, the sun is out now a little bit more. You can see some dark clouds starting to surround the racetrack, and wind is weaving on the straight there. Not the best method of defence if you want to be clean, but I guess it's okay. You'd argue it's okay. I'm expecting Lakitu, by the way, also to get a Speedster. He should have no real issues with it. He's close enough. He's going to have the DRS. He should blast past as Marquez sets fastest lap. I was surprised by that, actually. I didn't think he would be doing that on lap 9, but there you go. Lap 9, well, lap 8 and lap 9, and they're already setting faster times, so he must have plenty stored in those hard tyres, and that's going to be into the back if he doesn't avoid, which he luckily did. And Lakitu, yeah, he's not going to get by for at least another couple laps maybe until he catches back up. So, Lewis still leading this race. Calkers in second, Wayne third, Marquez fourth, with Rafa fifth, Medium Pilot sixth, Janel seventh, and then people who have pitted so far: Speedster, Lakitu, and Samster. Out of this race are Tom and Joglar. And yeah, dark clouds are starting to arrive, as expected. That's not what I wish we could see. I wish we could see when exactly it's going to rain, but oh well. I don't think Calcus is close enough for a move here again. Look at that, Wayne's doing his weaving little thing again. And it's really weird that it's like DRS is not very effective on this track by the looks of it. I mean, you'd have thought it was such a long straight. DRS, easy. But nah, it's not, unfortunately. Calkers though, he is still within that zone, so he is there. Lewis makes a mistake, or Wayne makes a mistake, and then people behind will be passed. But for now, they're all keeping it squeaky clean and hoping they can just stay in a good spot for when it does rain, so they can get on entries in time. Doesn't look like Keithy's catching Samster particularly quickly, by the way. It looks more like Samster is going to be catching Lakitu at the end of all this, so we'll keep an eye on that one, because that will be for some points. And like I said, if we get a safety car, they could be in a prime position to maybe switch it up on the strategy before rain arrives, or even if rain is arriving before, just as safety car comes out, maybe someone would take a risk on that one. But it is only lap 10, we're not even halfway through the race yet, so plenty of time for it all to come. But for now, Calkers is now falling back, unfortunately, from Lewis. And so he can nearly kiss goodbye to that DRS. I don't think he's going to really have much of a chance to get ahead. And look at these guys, we're all 6/10 apart, but that's too big a gap. And so we aren't really seeing much happening. And I think it's more based actually less on the straight itself, but the corner that comes before it, you know, the fast sweeping right-hander. Dirty air is a complete nightmare there, and it can really affect your exits, and that's probably what's costing these guys. Especially with somebody like Marquez on a pad, because you can't change your ERS and that as easily as a wheel user could. So he's probably, one, struggling with dirty air, and two, not able to get his ERS up as quickly as Wayne. So that's probably what the rest are struggling with as well, I would assume. Maybe Rafa's on the pad as well, that could also affect his ERS. But people like Medium Pad, I don't think they're on pads. But it's just something else to pick up on. It could explain why they're not really, you know, closing as much as you'd expect. But I think I will do is just play the waiting game, because they're all pretty much the same pace. Samster getting past Lakitu fighting back. But I mean, it's 4 seconds between the top 6. We're all just pacing ourselves, waiting for the rain here, except for these two. Obviously, they're fighting it away. Round the outside, Vettel, Ricciardo style move, and nearly a touch for good measure, just like Vettel, Ricciardo. But getting through into P9. But like I say, 4 seconds separates this top 6, and they know they're not racing for lap 11. They're racing for lap 28 when it's wet. But we'll wait and see how these guys go about their business later on, as Medium Pilot has a pretty big half spin. He should catch up rather quickly though, because it's not like much is happening ahead. He should be okay enough to catch, but that will have cost him nearly a second. It did indeed to the race leader. Looks like Wayne is also starting to pick pace up. He's nearly within the DRS zone of Calkers. He still actually isn't DRS of Lewis. I thought he'd be kissing goodbye to that, but he's still got it. But yeah, I mean Marquez, by the way, is 3/10 now the gap. So I mean they're all looking like they're starting to get a bit quicker. Obviously, Calker's tires as well. You got to consider that they're maybe starting to die a bit. He could still fall out of this battle, unless he just keeps those tires as long as possible. We'll just have to wait and see. But for now, like I say, we are in stalemate. So well, saying that, Calker's has just fallen out of there after a bit of tire drops down and hit that cliff. I don't know if we can get it to rain or not. I don't know if he can get those tires to the rain. I feel he can't with the way he's looking. But here comes Marquez. This is as close as he's been for the last few laps. And he's got a good chance, probably now rather than every other lap, to actually go for it. And Wayne knows it. He starts to wave a bit on the straight, trying to unsettle Marquez. But I say he likes a late dive bomb. He's going for his classic move once again. He doesn't quite make it work, but he certainly had Wayne on edge there. And, well, we're starting to see a bit of action now. Marquez showing he's there and getting a bit feisty. Here we go down to turn one once again. Wayne off the track, that could be a warning. He wants to be careful of that. And look how dull it's just got on the main straight. It is actually really starting to get dull. This rain's coming a little quicker than maybe we all thought. But Marquez maybe knows that, and he wants to get this move done before it happens. And, well, it went from nice and sunny about a minute ago to really dull. So maybe Calcus has got a chance. You never know. We'll just have to wait and see. It's very difficult to predict this, as you may have been able to tell. But yeah, Marquez, that nearly worked, didn't it, that late braking? If he just broke maybe a couple of metres earlier, he could have actually got better turning there. But yeah. Wayne will be expecting that next time. I wonder if Marquez could use that to his advantage. Maybe psych him out, maybe think, yeah, I'm going to go for this again, and actually not, and just send Wayne off to Narnia. It is a method that people try sometimes. It's a good mind games, but look at this. Wayne, is he in that DRS zone? No, I don't think he is. I don't know if he got to the line before he went under a set. He didn't. Rain is falling now, so it really has. It just, the conditions have changed like that very quickly. And Marquez is not close enough now to go for the move on Wayne, but still very late on the brakes. So I guess we're sort of expecting the likes of Calcus to be the first people to move on to intermediates. He's got the most at risk of these tyres, so we'll see what he does. His pit window is open, but it is raining. Will we see everyone stream into the pits on lap 14? Let's see how heavy it is. Like I say, the conditions changed rapidly, didn't they? I mean, it looked dry a minute ago. Sunny. I thought it'd be a bit later on we get the rain, but bang, here it is, straight away. And like, I thought I saw blue flags, but it couldn't have been blue flags. Unless Joglar's car is like a ghost and just running around or something, I don't know. Yeah, but no, look at this. Wayne is right on Calcus. Calcus will be dreaming of a new set of lovely fresh tyres. Except they may end up being worse. we don't know yet what his engines are going to be like. We haven't seen them on a racing track anyway. We've seen them on a qualifying track, which is completely different. But Calcus, let's see how much he's lost. He's only lost 8/10 of his lap, but it's the fact that Wayne and Marquez and Rafa and Medium Pilot, they've all got hards on, and they just don't lose any performance at all, ever on the stint. They just do not lose performance. They don't know how to lose performance. So it's yeah, heavily advantages in. So there goes one. Wayne gets past. Does Marquez? Of course he's going to go for it. Is there any point even questioning it? But how late does he go? He goes a bit too late. He's put himself and his VSR teammate off the track, and that might just save Calcus big time. But Marquez did get through, and neither of them pits. No one pits, and oh, Wayne spins off. Could be, honestly, as a direct result there of that contact with Marquez. Could that have overheated his tyres a bit? Was he not really expecting that? Was he flustered? I mean, Marquez may find himself in a bit of trouble for that. He probably will, to be fair. You could argue he got that move done, 1, off the track, and 2, while smashing into someone, but yeah, Soundster, by the way, getting by Speedster. Any of those guys fancy a pit lane visit yet? I don't think so. None of them in the pits yet. Marquez, though, now is the challenger on Calcus, and well, he was behind both of the VSR guys before, well, for only a split second because Marquez was torpedoing down the inside, but still, he knows that Marquez will dive. Does he decide to defend that, really? Has he got the tires to defend? But he knows, though, his goal is to reach the pit lane. So we'll see what he does. You can see that the track is still relatively okay. They could actually go another lap. You just don't know yet, but we'll find out. Marquez, by the way, has slightly caused a massive gap to be formed because Kalkers is now 4.3 seconds off the race leader Lewis. Does Marquez get by? Brakes a lot earlier and should get by, just in a better traction, just his tyres are better, but I guess not. Kalker's staying in it. Anyone pitting? Looks like Rafa's gone a bit wide there. But surely now Marquez has to get him. He has to. He's cost himself and the others so much time. And running outside the trouble when he finally gets it done. Will Medium Pilot try to see him fail on Rafa? Decides not to. Although, well, saying that, I just call off. I think he did actually try it a bit. But Marquez then up into P2. But, like I say, he kind of went a bit kamikaze. But we'll see if he gets away with that after the race, I guess. But here goes Rafa now on the back of Kalkers. Will he get through here? We'll have to wait and see. But the rain isn't really increasing much in intensity, so you know, maybe John will say it'll be wet at the end. Maybe it'll only be time 4 inches at the end. Maybe, because at the minute, I think these guys could probably still run around in these dry conditions. How much is Marquez losing in the sectors? If he isn't losing like 3 seconds, I mean, you could argue it could still be worth it. I'm sure someone will try an extra lap to try and overcut, but if they pit this lap, they pit this lap. But I'm honestly not seeing the rain intensity being too bad. It could be another lap and then pitting, or it could be this lap. A lot of people have their pit lights on, to be fair, but here comes Rafa on Kalkers for that last podium spot, and if they are pitting this lap, then this is really important. He gets this one done nice and cleanly. Kalkers defending on the inside, crowds out. Rafa, look out for Medium Pilot. The Ferrari has just been mugged. Who pits? No one pits. Once again, we keep going. So as I said, it just doesn't seem to be wet enough yet. So while it's raining, it's not wet enough for inters for a while, by the looks of it. Unless it really starts to get intense. We saw it quickly. It went from dry to wet, didn't we? When it was sunny 1 minute and raining the next. How much will Kalkers defend against his own teammate? Because this could end up being a turn 6 move, and this could get quite ugly in a minute. Janel is the first to switch onto intermediates. We'll keep his times in our minds. We'll keep an eye on it. Oh, he's hit his teammate round. That's a bit clumsy. Medium Pilot spins his teammate off. I wonder if Rafa turned him back round with his front wing. He didn't quite, luckily. I think Kalkers just got himself back round, but oh, that's awkward when you hit your own teammate round. And especially on worn tyres, Medium Pilot has potentially put Kalkers onto a skating rink with that collision. I mean, he can barely drive it in a straight line, can he? He's struggling a lot, unless look at Janel. Samster really wanting to ruin his race here by going for the move early. And yeah, look at it, it's just not nearly wet enough for these tyres. They just don't seem to work at all. Kalkers is almost sailing off the track there, but here comes Wayne easing past him. Janel, by the way, losing another chunk of time in another position, and Lakitu even going to try and get by him as well. In the middle sector, not a place where you expect to overtake much, but Janel has got this one wrong. Not time for inters yet, I don't think. Oh, Wayne nearly spins off. And luckily Kalkers doesn't run into him. Pitting, he sort of had to with the tyres. And well, for his own sake, I hope this is the right time to pit. The rain is starting to get a bit heavier now. But what we've seen from Janel would suggest maybe not. But it could change from lap to lap. We don't know. Oh. Well then, that wasn't expected. I guess he doesn't feel as ready for intermediates either. Either that or he just forgot to change. But, well then. Kalkers maybe putting a nail in his own coffin there. because, well, he would have been ahead of these guys regardless of what tire he put on. Maybe he should have just put inters on, it could have helped him, but I guess maybe he feels it's worth the extra lap time for the next few laps. Maybe he doesn't feel it'll be time for inters for another 3 or 4 laps. Maybe that's what the game has said as well. It wouldn't surprise me. I said it'd be a bit of an icing rink. Oh, a bit of an ice rink, not icing rink. That was completely different. It'd be a bit of an ice rink. I thought it would be. And, well, looks like that's exactly what we're getting. This feels a lot like Germany when it's... Is it wet? Is it dry? Is it somewhere in between? Luckily for the viewers, it's somewhere in between. So, we'll see how Calgary gets on. Hopefully he starts to close this gap on the others. Would he close it enough to make it a significant difference? I guess he was losing anyway, so he might as well have pitted for them. It wasn't really going to change the fact he was going to be 6th place. And I'm not expecting anyone in the pits on this lap. Although saying that, Louis has actually decided to pit. Lewis pitting. Oh, Marquez! Just about deciding to pit. He nearly carried on. Everyone's pitting now, but DRS is still enabled. I mean, you could argue it's still not the right time yet. But intermediates for Lewis. Rafa gets by medium pilot, and Wayne had to hold medium pilot up, but luckily everyone seems to be staying in the same positions. Wayne nearly shook that all up there, but Lewis comes out in the lead still. Calkers is going to come out with these guys, and well, we'll see what happens here. Will he just sail past? I mean, look at the undercut on those softs already. He's right up with 2nd place again nearly. He's going to sail around outside of his own teammate by the looks of it. Nice and easy, there you go, up into P3. Ah, look at him pull away. Wow. He really do like to have some good grip. He's going to be the only one on track, on dry, so he's going to want to hope this works for another couple of laps. Let's check quickly catches up to the dive-bombing Red Bull, who potentially set his whole race into a bit of a spiral of hell. Or is he just similarly paced? Because if he's just similarly paced, then this doesn't really work for him much. I mean, it isn't working for him anyway, but he'll want to nullify this a little bit. DRS should still be enabled though, so he should still be able to have the opportunity to pass him if he needs it in DRS, which he probably doesn't. Down the inside he goes. Now this would be interesting. Does he have enough laps on these tyres to sail up and pass our leader? Because it's not out of the question and that either. I mean, look how much he's pulling away from Marquez. And where he's going to have DRS to pass him with, which will be alarming being on intermediates, by the way. It would be disabled if it was time for inters, but it's clearly not. How does Calkers get on in the brakes? Will Marquez do one of his trademark dive bombs? It's a car on dry tyres, he's got to pay anyway. He's just trying something different, I think, Calkers, hoping it's not going to be wet enough for the next couple of laps. But I think we may be watching the transfer now. As these inters get back into range, I think DRS was just disabled. I think it was just disabled, so I don't think it came out on screen. If it did, I missed it, but I think it is now time for the intermediates. As Marquez goes back up the inside, doesn't want to have a collision. And yeah, now it's Calkers with no traction. But Marquez had nowhere to go. Really nicely placed car there by Calkers. Did a really good job to put it in a good position there. And it's making it very difficult for Marquez to get by. Down the inside, in fact he hasn't got by. We're side by side through turn 7 here, and this is turn 8 now, and they're still going for it, but finally Calkers has to back off. As we see, plenty of spray now starting to be kicked up. So while Calkers is sort of killing his own race doing this, he's starting giving us plenty of entertainment. And yeah, here comes Medium Pilot, his teammate. I'm sure he won't make it as hard for his own teammate, considering, well, actually, maybe he would make it hard, because Medium Pilot did tip him round, of course, earlier on. So maybe a bit of bad blood between the two Mercedes drivers. Although saying that, he probably doesn't have much to make his life difficult with. Does not defend it. Well, we'll see. How deep does Medium Pilot go? Because I think it's going to go pretty deep, but not too deep. Now Rafa's on Calkers and probably going to pass him on the main straight, or well before it obviously because it's pitting, isn't it? So well, the 3-lap gamble didn't really give much of a result. If he just undercut onto intermediates, he could have found maybe a bit of purchase, but instead he went for softs, got it wrong. Should will Jack not get past? I don't think he will. Let's find out. Where is he? Yeah, he's not going to get him. So Calkers comes back out. He would have been P6 anyway, but I guess he'll think nothing lost there. He just had a bit of fun. But Wade is now in the back of Rafa. A medium pilot on the back of Marquez, but not to as much of an extent. No, I think anyone's advantage through turn... Oh, what turn is this? Turn 9, turn 12, fast right-hander. That would certainly probably now move to pad users, because pad users, it appears, have a bit better traction. So look at Rafa here. Let's see who gets a better run. You would expect it to be Rafa on the pad. I believe he's on the pad. And indeed, he can seemingly get on the power a lot easier there. But then he, well, actually has a slide. So look, they're all struggling there. So much for pad OP, am I right? But here goes Wayne on the outside. It'll have to be. And he still runs out of steam at the end of the strip, and may still try to move. Rafa stays on the inside, hopes that Wayne doesn't get a good exit, but he does, and Rafa falls down into P5. Hopes Wayne goes wide, but Wayne just about got back in time to somewhat make the corner. Although it wasn't the best exit, he was wide, but I would have thought he would have been able to get on the power bit earlier than that. But okay, here comes Rafa again, right outside into turn 1, isn't going to make that one work, so he may want to go to the inside, but also can't make that one work. So, Wayne up into P4. Don't think there's any penalties, by the way, to worry about. Lewis has got only 2 warnings. Marquez has got 1. Medium pilot's got none. Wayne with 1. Rafa, yeah, we're not really worried about penalties for these guys. Right, so looking at Samster then as well. So far, we've got sort of 3 on track. Well, I don't really see Rafa getting back past Wayne. I think Wayne was a lot more confident. So maybe not that one, but maybe medium pilot Marquez could be a good fight. Let's see how these guys get on. Marquez certainly looked a lot more comfortable through that turn there, but once again, it just looked like he doesn't have the oomph on the exit of the corner, a bit like what we saw from Rafa on the last lap. He looked okay, but then lost his oomph before they really got down the straight, and that's what let them catch up. Medium pilot and Wayne to their respective chases. They've got 6 laps here to try and resolve all this, so it should be plenty of time. If there's anyone watching, by the way, in the chat, do feel free to be active in the chat, although, looking now, there is no one, so, ah well, I can talk to myself, I'm sure, for a bit longer. I think. Obviously, thing with these tires, I don't think they're going to have to worry about wet anymore. I don't think anyone had any mention of torrential rain, so it should only get to inters at worst. Then again, you just don't know. We saw it quickly, it changed from sunny to raining, so it could change quickly from inters to wet. You just don't know. We'll wait and find out though. A lap is a long lap here in the wet. We know it's in about the 1:45 to 1:50 range. Probably nearer to 1:50s, I would have thought, in the rain. But then again, that is qualifying. It could be different in race. Who's got the fastest lap? Samster currently has the fastest lap, and he'll keep that. So Samster would get that fastest lap point. So even though he's finishing 10th at the moment, He may well actually get 9th as well. You don't know, but either way, he's looking good for some at least 2 championship points, if not maybe 3. But here comes medium pilot, and here doesn't come medium pilot, and here doesn't come Rafa. So yeah, the good run in 1 minute 46s, so it is it's a long 5 laps this. It'll take a good 8 or 9, 10 minutes to sort of get around, so there's plenty of time to strategize. Safety from ERS, looks like Marquez isn't doing as much as Medium Pilot. Medium Pilot nearly got a full tank. Could be really useful to keep up and go for this the second podium spot. Here comes Rafa. Look at these two going for it side by side into turn 6. Wayne went very defensive on the inside. It could cost him now on the exit as Rafa pulls up alongside and decides not to go for it. And, well, I don't know. It does look like the rain is getting a bit more torrential. We've got some yellow flags. There's Samster in the wall. As long as he keeps going, he'll still get that 2 points. But, well, I don't know. The rain is looking a bit more torrential now. Could we see full wet at the end? Could someone take that risk, maybe? I'm looking at you, Calkers. You like taking your risks. But yeah, as I say, it's a long few laps. If it does get torrential rain, we'll know about it, I'm sure. But for now, it's certainly looking a bit more than light rain at the moment. Medium Pilot using some of that ERS, but then again, Marquez has just enough of the back straight anyway, so he should be okay. It looks to be more though the middle sector that has the heavier rain. Everywhere else maybe not as bad, but you know, let's just wait and see how we all do this. When Samster pits for a new front wing, because he probably will do that, we'll see what tires he goes on to. But this guy, 10 seconds clear at the top, had it pretty easy as Lewis. No one really challenging him anymore. They all sort of took each other out of contention. And well, for that I mean Marquez took them all out of contention, but yeah, same thing. It's weird though. I mean, they're always within like 5/10 of a second, but they just can't make it work. It's a shame to see it like that because it's the same in the dry as well. They all keep getting very close to each other. So while they can run close on this track, they can't actually close. So it's a bit like Spain, this one, where they just run round pretty much everyone on the same pace. And unfortunately today it's not made the best of races, but we had our highlights. But yeah, yeah, I don't know why we didn't get views though. I'm confused by that one, but I will. We'll try and improve for next week. I just look at the rain, it's got lighter again, to be honest. And Samster isn't going to get that fast as that point, I don't think, when he retires. So who would that point now go to? Who would that go to? I think it would go to Marquez, I think. If that's how it works, I think you have to finish to get the fastest lap point. I would have thought that would make sense, even if you're even though you're retired, but I mean still it's not said you haven't finished, and you've done it on your own. You've retired by yourself, so maybe you'll keep that point. You'll notice there's been a blue flag there all day. I still don't know what that's for. I don't know. I think on this track on F1 2018, I saw a glitch where a car DC'd before the start, and its Ghost parked it in somewhere in the first sector. That wasn't actually on screen for most of the race, but it was there. I don't know if that's what that blue flag is. It's a weird one though. I hate when we have glitches like that, but that could be why there's been a blue flag there the whole race. I like the way it still shows Joe Glover there. I think the way I remember this working for the 2018 glitch was that the car would end up in the pit lane for most of it actually. that could be why it feels like it's parked. Yeah, for all we know, his car is just sitting in the garage. You can probably look in and see it if you ever got a good enough camera shot of it. But can you ride on board of it? No, you can't. Anyway, medium pilot. He knows he's running out of time, and this is his best attempt yet to go for this. Marquez really tight to the inside line. Medium pilot waiting so long to pull out and deciding he has to in the end because he knows Marquez isn't going to move. But no move happens. Of course. And, well, it certainly is torrential rain now. It took a while to get there. It sort of started to become torrential, but then died down, but then became torrential again, but then dies down probably, and then... So the rain can't make its mind up, really. A bit like Northern Ireland, really. He just can't really make his mind up on the weather. But yeah, I think medium pilot might have to pull a Marquez on Marquez. Because it's getting a bit... He's getting a bit stuck, isn't he? He's sort of stuck behind. No real way through. I mean, it's also helping Lewis anyway get away, because he's 11 seconds clear now. He can sit back and chillax in his car and happily take this win. This is the only fight on track by the looks of it, by the way. I think Wayne could end up getting himself involved in this as well if these two start going for it in the next 2 laps, which you would one hope and two, well, expect them to. But we'll find out. Well, no. Gap is 6/10. Marquez has got more energy somehow than medium pilots. The medium pilot really not the best at saving it, and look at that. Marquez has used it to his advantage to pull away. Yeah, nothing's going to happen with this fight, I don't think. So Lewis, round the final corner to start the last lap of this race. A dominant one, you have to say. And at the end of the day, he started on the right tyre. We had a few people trying other tyres, but it just didn't really work out. And I'm pretty sure he started on hards anyway. And, well, it's going to be one of those ones, isn't it? Where you start on the hards and finish on the inters. Weird strategy, that one, isn't it, for the top 5? I don't think I've ever seen a league race where that's actually been a strategy we've seen, but there you go. Always like a different change in the colour scheme of the tyre strategy. And the victory is now waiting ahead. Someone is going to be standing on a very soggy platform, waiting to put out a probably soaking wet checkered flag in about a minute's time. Medium pilot is just miles away now on Marquez. He needs Marquez to have something go wrong, and sort of any worries about a tyre puncture or anything like that, I don't think that's going to really happen, because Jan will still go around on an 11 lap, although he's not going around particularly quickly, he's still going around, so no real puncture should be a worry. But let's just focus on the man at the moment. Lewis coming down the back strip for the last time in this race in his Toro Rosso. The Toro Rosso, for some reason I really like its livery now because it's got more green on it. Look at the green! Ah, green! And obviously blue. Anyway, sorry, I could get distracted by it. It looks really nice on the end plate. But here he comes, through the final corner. LRT Lewis weaves across the line to win in China. It's going to be Marquez in second place, so we'll wait and see what others think about his performance today, because he was a bit dirty, but P2, medium pilot P3, Wayne P4, and LRT Rafa P5. Here comes Calkers, tried something a bit different on the strategy, didn't really work out at all, but he's going to come out P6 in the end of it. Led a few laps though, so I'm sure he'd maybe take that. I say, another 5 laps of this, we would have been on the full wets. This could have... could we make it a 100% race? Would have been interesting to see more stuff in the tyres. But look at this, General's struggling now. Said he was struggling, but Space on the inside is going to have to force, I reckon, General off to Narnia. He keeps his foot in, but Space does get him in the end. So, Space to 7th, General 8th, and Lakitu will be your last finisher. He went from softs to mediums to inters, and it didn't work out at all. But he said he was happy enough for pole position anyway. So if he'll come across the line, he'll take his 2 points and move on to next week. Retirement Samster, Tom and Juglar, who didn't even get off the line. Here's your podium then. Oh, it's Brendan Lee, oh dear. Nice looking car. Anyway. I think it's Brendan Lee anyway. Picking up the trophy to celebrate. The Toro Rosso driver celebrating victory here in ERL in a very wet race. And Marquez second. Medium pilot third. Here is your finishing order one more time. I'll go through it and then we shall end this one off. Lewis from Marquez, medium pilot, Wayne, Rafa, Calker, Space to Giano, Lakitu, and then your retirement, Samster, Tom, and Juglar. I've been your commentator, Owen. Thanks for watching this one. We'll be back next week with Azerbaijan Grand Prix at Baku. And yeah, safe travels.